Good afternoon. As the director of our program in the environment, I would like to take a few minutes to recognize and honor our undergraduates who are graduating today, including over 115 environment majors, as well as the nearly 150 students in one of our 5 minors. This year has been a tough one, full stop. Last March, I don't know how many of us could have predicted the year that was ahead of us. Each and every one of us has our own story about when the pandemic became real. For me, after it was announced that the remainder of classes would be held entirely remotely, I remember leaving my office on a Friday and walking down South U, and it was totally surreal. I remember overhearing all of the conversations as everyone just tried to process what was actually happening. But it would only be a few weeks, and surely they would still hold graduation at the big house, right? And of course, things would be totally back to normal by fall. At that point, I definitely did not realize that I would not set foot in my office for the next 5 months. And when fall arrived, we came back to a campus that was completely transformed. There were signs and sanitizer everywhere. My office was a time capsule of long-expired to-do lists, a whiteboard that had never been erased, and some truly dead-looking plants. When we talk about creating a sustainable world, we often use the term resilience, which is the ability to recover and adapt from a disruptive event. The pandemic has been one of the most disruptive events that many of us have ever experienced. And this past year has been an exercise in building resilience. As it turned out, not all of my plants had died over the summer. If you'll permit me a little show and tell, here's one of the plants I took home with me that day in August. Now, this plant had lost nearly all of its leaves, and the ones that remained were brown and twisted. It was done. It looked like I think many of us have felt at one point or another in the past semester or two. But it figured out a way to rebound, and is still doing it. It did take a little while for fresh leaves to sprout, and it's definitely a different looking plant than it was before. But that's a critical part of resilience. Not going back to exactly the way things were, but adapting and changing and growing into a newly changed world. The fact that you are here at graduation and have made it through the last 14 months showcases your ability to be resilient. Graduating from the University of Michigan is no small feat in normal years, and this year has been anything but normal. But you've made it through. When you had Zoomed all day and just didn't think you could Zoom anymore, you figured out a way to persevere and enter yet another 6-digit code. I know it wasn't always easy, but you did it. And so while the last year has brought more than its share of challenges, I have nothing but confidence in your abilities to succeed in your future. Your time at Michigan has given you the tools to help ensure that the world that emerges from this crisis is better than the one that went into it. Over the last few years, I've been so impressed with your class's desire to truly make a difference, your willingness to do the work, fight for what you believe is right, your creativity, your great capacity for kindness, your resilience in the face of difficulties, and your ability to see the silver lining in just about anything. There are still challenges ahead, but it's always good to remember that disruption spurs innovation. We have extraordinary opportunities ahead to build a more just, sustainable, and resilient world, and you're going to be there to do it. You will be entering into a future that is poised for major long-term change. As you adapt and change and grow into the world ahead, I have every confidence that you will be part of the fight to help figure out how to create a better society and a healthier planet. Congratulations, graduates of the class of 2021. And go blue.